we are going to talk about the muscles of the anterior torso. So looking at this area right here, what do we first come to if we're going from superficial to deep? So superficial is towards the outside of the body. We're going to come across our external oblique first. Okay, so you can see that on both sides and see what that looks like, how it wraps around the body. So even around here, you can see where, where it comes all the way around towards the back of our spine, because our spine is resting right here. So it's coming very near to that. So that's our external oblique. If you remember, that's a side bending muscle. It helps with some rotation and side bending. You can see when you think about a muscle, look at the direction of the fibers, like we've talked about. So if this is one attachment point, this is one attachment point, and the muscle is contracting, which means it's getting shorter, imagine what that would do. If this point is fixed, it's going to kind of pull this shoulder down and in, right? Or it's going to, in reverse, if this area is fixed, it's going to rotate this part up diagonally. Can y'all picture that? Okay, so that's our external oblique. So we're going to hide that. So we're going to go deep to that, and you're going to find your rectus abdominis. So rectus abdominis, you can see it has these little sections within it. That's our six-pack. Okay, that's the pretty muscle. Look at the direction of fibers. They're running vertically, right? So if they shorten, you're doing a crunch, right? Your spinal flexion is what's happening there. So I don't think about the rectus doing a lot of function as you're just moving about in your day, unless you're actually doing like a sit-up or a crunch. But just as you're reaching, moving, twisting, sitting, it's not doing a ton other than some light tonic action. Okay, so we're going to hide that. Next muscle we're going to come to is going to be our internal oblique. So you can see here we have internal oblique and external oblique. Do you see how the fibers run in opposition? So right now, from side to side, they're actually running on a diagonal straight line. But if we had the superior one here, the superficial one here on the left side, you would see that it runs like this. So they're meeting and cross-hatching. Internal and external work in opposition. Same function though. Look at the direction of fibers, imagine what they do. They help with some rotation and some side bending. And then this is the muscle that I'm obsessed with because functionally it does so much. It's our transversus abdominis. So if you flip around to the back, you can see that it goes even more medially posteriorly than the obliques do. And it's your built-in corset, like we've talked about. Its job is to really smush, compact, pressurize the torso, and help with all of that function. So this is another thing that y'all can see in the visible body. It gives you a whole readout of more details than you want to know about that muscle. Innervations, blood supply. This thing was a savior when I was in PT school. Okay, so that is our abdominal wall, because if I hide that, you can see all the way through to the spine, and that's your hip flexors poking up there. So that is our anterior abdominal wall.